Hello, I'm Executive Chef Joseph Schulze, and welcome to our kitchen. Today I'd like to share with you another method of making Abárolt Szalonna, which is a Hungarian snack, if you will, for a paprika bacon. Traditionally, paprika bacon, you cook the pork belly in simmering water and with tons of garlic. I do have a video for that on the channel. But playing around one day, I just figured, what if I used my procedure for making homemade bacon? Modified the recipe a little bit with the seasonings. I cured my bacon and smoke it for a couple hours and then proceed with the normal process for making the Abárolt Szalonna. Well, it came out fantastic and I'm happy to share with you. Try it this way one time. Moving forward, I'm sure you're gonna want to do the smoked version. So join me now as I share this wonderful recipe with you. Well, right now I'd like to say thank you to all the subscribers. Your support is really appreciated. If you're just stopping by for the first time, or if you've tuned in before and not done so, please subscribe to the channel, like the videos, and hit the notification bell. Be up to date with all of our latest posts. Let's get cooking. Well, to begin, I like to mix my cure. We start with Turbinado Sugar. Then I'm going to add granulated garlic and ground white pepper. I will then add my Kosher Salt. And then the all-important cure, which is our Insta-Cure number 1 or DQ1. And now we'll go ahead and set it off to the side. Now that we have that done, let's go ahead and begin dusting our meat with the cure. Well, now that we have the pork belly covered with the cure, let's go ahead, shake off a little of the excess, and get a large Ziploc bag. I'm using a 2-gallon bag, and go ahead and put your pork belly in there. And with the remaining cure, we will go ahead and pour this into the bag. You will have a little leftover cure. I would recommend not using all of that cure because you don't want the thing to become too salty. At that point, then you've kind of ruined it. So once we get this in the bag, let's secure it, put it into the refrigerator, and we will flip it every 12 hours. And then after 7 days, it's ready to come out. Well, now that we have cured the pork belly for 7 days, let's go ahead and remove it from the bag and go ahead and gently rinse off all the salt and seasoning. Well, there you have our belly after air drying overnight. It's a little bit tacky, nice and firm. That's the pellicle that had developed. And again, this is going to make the smoke and more color adhere to the protein. As you can see, I have my cold smoke attachment set up, and we're going to go ahead and put this into the smoker, and we will smoke for anywhere from 2 to 3 hours. The reason I have the cold smoke attachment set up rather than the hot smoke is because we are going to cook this pork belly in the water with the garlic. Feel free to use hot smoke if you like, but why cook it twice, right? So 2 to 3 hours, cold smoke. If you do choose to do a hot smoke, which is perfectly fine, 2 to 3 hours, set your temperature at 225 degrees and go to an internal temperature of, it doesn't matter. Again, we're gonna cook it inside. Well, here we are after about 2 hours and 15 minutes of smoking. And keep in mind, we did develop a little color, not an awful lot. However, make no mistake, there is plenty of smoke flavor here. Now on to the next step, which is simmering with the garlic in the water bath. So what I'm going to do, and obviously this part is optional, is I'm going to cut my belly down into more manageable pieces. Because after we get the paprika put onto it and whatnot, I'm going to cryovac it and put it to the freezer. And I don't want to bring out a whole 3-pound piece to eat, which I would love to. However, realistically, I would cut this into 4 pieces and just have smaller manageable cuts. I'm sorry, smaller manageable pieces. So cut it to whatever size you want, and then we'll go from there. So right now I have a pot of water on with lots of garlic, a few bay leaves, and some kosher salt. Bring the water up to just a slight simmer. Let's go ahead and lay in our pork belly. When you cook this, you don't want it to boil. We're not looking to destroy this pork. We want to slowly, gently bring it up to temperature. And what I would recommend doing is bringing it up to a temperature of 157 degrees Fahrenheit and periodically check it with a thermometer. Put our lid back on, and as it starts to come to a simmer, reduce your temperature to more like a low, to a medium low, and that way you can control the simmer better. Well, here we are now that our pork belly has got the temperature. First thing to hit you is a nice smoky flavor. And now we are ready to remove and transfer to a sheet pan lined with a wire rack. Now we have our belly out of the water bath, and let's lay it with the skin side down. And go ahead and spoon your garlic puree onto the flesh side of the pork belly or bacon at this point, since it's already cured and smoked, and get a nice generous amount on there. Now let's set that off to the side, and let's get I have a sheet pan with lined with parchment paper, and I have my Hungarian paprika, obviously. So let's go ahead and take the bacon and press down on it. We're looking to get a nice crust on it. Move it around, and then put it back onto the wire rack with the paprika side up. And there you have it. So now at this point, what I like to do is I like to wrap this and press it a little bit. Now this part is completely optional. I only do this because I want to keep the paprika on the product. And I take butcher's paper, a little bit of parchment lining, and let's go ahead and roll it. Wrap it. Like so. Place it into a shallow hotel pan and repeat with all the remaining pieces of bacon. Well, now that we have it all wrapped, because you could use plastic wrap if you like. I prefer using butcher's paper because it breathes. Right now this bacon is still warm, and we want that air to escape. Otherwise it'll just sit in there. The paprika gets mushy, discolored, and things like that. So as this paper is porous, the heat will dissipate. And people ask me, Chef, which side is the paprika? I say it doesn't matter, because I'm going to top it with another pan and just put a couple jars or even a few plates or whatever, just to slightly weigh it down. We're not looking to press the bacon into a very thin piece of meat. We're only looking to make some subtle contact to keep the paprika staying on the bacon. Put it to the cooler, chill it at least 6 hours. Well, here you go. Füstölt Abárolt Szalonna, or a smoked paprika bacon. After 24 hours in the cooler, remove it. And first thing you see, just because it happened to open up this way, we see the nice color on the fat from the smoke. And then our paprika. how it stuck to it very nicely. That's just by compressing. So at this point, what we'll want to do is take some nice slices out of it. Slice it, don't slice too thick. You want to keep it, say, maybe a 1/4 inch, 1/8 of an inch. That nice smoke ring around it a little bit. And slicing it thin is also going to make it more tender and easier to eat. And there you have Füstölt Abárolt Szalonna, or smoked paprika bacon. Now the procedure is somewhat traditional, or at least how my family makes it, with exception to the smoke. One day making it at home, I figured why not try it with smoke just to see how it would elevate the flavor if it did. And believe me, the touch of smoke absolutely made this an even better dish than it really is. It's one of my favorite foods. We will make what's called a little soldier sandwich, or kish katana. Basically a nice little thin piece on a piece of bread, some onion, and go to town. With this, we have the nice smoke flavor, very intense garlic flavor as we put a lot on it. And then with the really good quality Hungarian paprika, you have that nice spice coming from that. And then obviously with the quality of pork that we have a nice pork flavor going with it. So there is a lot going on with this, and it's an incredible snack any time of year. Well, I hope you enjoy this recipe and presentation. I hope you give it a shot, especially for my Hungarian friends. It is something completely outside the box, and I'm sure I'll catch a little bit of flack for it, but I assure you, if you were to try it, you would be in agreement by saying this is really amazing. Thank you very much. Jó étvágyat!